Hey everyone, welcome to one more with Brian Erickson. I am Brian Erickson. That's a lie, I'm not. My name is Rachel Anna Dobkin and I'm gonna open the show for you guys tonight. I have some shows coming up. We're playing this Thursday at Berlin in New York City. That's 7 o'clock. And then we'll be playing at the Danny Clinch Transparent Gallery this Saturday, 4 to 7. With Kelly Swindle and Leslie Mendelson and my band, and Danny will also be joining us for a special set. So, I was told I had to do that intro for myself. This is a song called Everybody Wants, and I hope that you guys enjoy. Everybody wants to be included. Everybody wants to be loved. Only those who live life unconditionally will know just what it means to rise above. Everybody wants to be included on. Everybody wants to be loved. But only those who live life unconditionally know just what it means to rise above. But so many believe subconsciously that love is just a means of hiding behind what we really know and accepting what we have through all the good and bad is imperative, and what we give is where the true feeling lies, because everybody wants to be included. Everybody wants to be loved. Came into my life, and now I suddenly see that love is all we need to truly be. Knowing what you want, knowing what you need comes from searching for who we are, and knowing that it's you and you feel that way too is pure ecstasy, unlike anything before. Helpless on the floor, crying from broken-hearted memories, swept away when you came in and opened up the door to let it all go, because everybody wants to be included, and everybody wants to be loved. You came into my life, and now I suddenly see that love is all we need to truly be. I need you in front of me, I feel you inside of me, and all of this energy and chemistry. I gotta be, wanna be, need to be, need you in, needing you in front of me, and feel you and feeling you inside of me, and all of this, all of this. Everybody wants to be included, and everybody wants to be loved. You came into my life, and now I suddenly see that love is what we make, and love is what we take, and love is all we need to truly be. Thank you, guys. My name is Rachel Anna Dobkin. For all of you Asbury Park people, come see us play on Saturday at the Danny Clinch Transparent Gallery. Yeah.
You ready? Ready?
Nash, you truly had one job at that moment. You've had 500 jobs tonight, but you had one job at that moment. Are we good? I don't know how the sound is. I'm going to listen to the sound.
It's all right. Welcome to One More. I'm your host, Brian Erickson. Each week, we bring in two new guests. We sit them down on this table. We find out. We sit them down on the table. On the table. We sit them down
Fit everybody
at
on here.
the table. We find out why they do what they do. This week, of course, well, it is a little bit of an exception. We've had our first cold open.
Yeah.
Because Rachel Anna Dobkin is playing a couple shows this weekend. So we should do that more.
Way less pressure on me. It was really nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you usually do the intros.
Yeah, and I always feel like I'm being a total nerd when I say that. I don't know if you've ever...
So let other people be
Yeah,
the total nerd.
let other people be the total nerd for a change. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and now I'm back.
Yeah, and this week we are our proper guests. Of course, we have Jim Lenskold from the Asbury Park Music Foundation, and we have the Afraid Brigade, who just released a brand new EP called Feel the Sunshine. So Jesse McCormick.
Yes, me.
And we saw Chris Dubrow before.
For a
but he
hot
kinda,
second.
For like a hot second.
And here
Don't
he
know
comes.
where he went. Oh, man.
Welcome to the stage, Christy Brown.
Something weird's going on with your mic. I think I know what I did wrong. Hold on. Keep going. Keep talking.
Leaving the stage, Christy Brown. Thank you. Thank you.
No, well, he's, well, Chris, like,
I have a lot of jobs, and I'm bad at all of them.
Apparently.
well,
that's
Chris
what I did
is,
wrong.
oh, there he is. He's running sound for the entire day, because also with the Afraid Brigade, it's kind of a special performance.
Keep going.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it's a special full band performance. Usually we do acoustic or kind of low volume full band stuff. We've only done like
The
proper like full band. I think maybe twice before, the Burns and Leeds.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's worth it. We were here for the rehearsals. It's sounding really good.
I'm very excited.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I saw some college friends who actually visited Asbury for like the first time in a long time, which was a shame because it was the same day as Pete and Pete at the House of Independence, so I didn't get to go to that. But it's fine. My dad and my mom went without me. They went and saw my favorite childhood show and met my childhood heroes without me.
Did they really? Did they meet?
Yeah,
Danny
no,
and
they
Mike?
met. They met Mike and Danny. They were both really sweet. Apparently, Mike is an avid Liverpool Football Club supporter, so, he and my dad got
bode well
along.
with your
Yes,
dad.
it was really cool. They brought me back a little button that says "official blowhole," so
Excellent.
it was really nice. Yeah.
Did you see the Jonas Brothers?
No, I didn't. I knew a lot of people who did, but I ended up kind of working through when they were starting playing, so I got to miss out on that too. It's fine.
I opened for them.
Yeah, no, I bet you did.
Yeah, I played the Asbury Fresh Farmers Market 5 hours before the Jonas Brothers went on. So technically,
You opened for
I
the
opened
Jonas
for the
Brothers.
Jonas
I'm just gonna keep wandering while you.
Yeah,
guys
no, it's
lie
fine,
about
Chris.
it.
Don't
Please.
even worry about it.
You can bring on Jim. It's cool.
Not
Yeah?
yet.
Oh no, are we still chatting?
Are we still chatting?
I don't know. I'm
I'm saying
excited
don't
to
chat.
chat with Jim.
All right, so let's.
How you guys doing?
How was your weekend, Chris?
My weekend was great. Man, I hung out. I got some shit done.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah?
Yeah. Hi, Brian.
Hey.
Come here often. Keep talking.
Oh, bless
Alright.
him.
Yeah, this is why.
You know,
this is why
normally
we
I'd make
should
a
be-
joke about how Chris doesn't need applause, but like I think those two kind of
No.
little rounds. Yeah, I'm still talking.
him.
Oh,
Me?
well, okay. Well then,
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up? So
Yeah.
this is like,
Continue.
I feel bad because we don't really know, or at least I don't really know the Afraid Brigade all that well.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like to project the idea that we know what we're doing, at least more than we don't.
this is like
And this is not getting
Yeah,
us off
so-
on the right foot
So
here.
when we first were like, oh yeah, we're gonna have, oh hey Greg, what's up? When we first we were gonna be like, oh we'll have Joe on. I'll be like, great, Joe's gonna do acoustic. And then Joe was like, well I might bring in the band, and they might play everything. And I was like, great, we can not do that and figure it out. And he's like, oh we're also gonna have a Moog on. I was like, great, even more things we can not figure out. But we got it all figured out. That's exciting for me.
And that's by no small effort from you.
No, truly the smallest effort from me. That's the most impressive part.
oh wow.
But still, it's an effort nonetheless. That's a little bit above and beyond your normal duties,
Which
of
is
just
none.
like showing up mostly hungover.
It's funny because I'm at work all day, and like I'm up at like 7:30, and I still manage to maintain the hangover
Yeah.
until
Throughout
here.
the
Yeah,
day,
you know.
yeah.
You have a brand and you stick to it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Christo is very on brand.
Oh God, I'm so sweaty, you guys. Let's bring on the first guest.
All right, so he sits on the board of the Asbury Park Music Foundation. Let us welcome Jim Lenskold.
Jim, you take this seat. I'll go there. All right.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome.
Jim.
It looks different on this side.
Yeah, right?
Doesn't it though?
Yeah.
So first off, thank you for letting us.
Quick moment.
Oh, you have something to say?
Oh,
What are we doing?
He's
I have
crossing
my
off his bucket list.
I got number 6 on there. All
Be a
right.
guest on One More with Brian Erickson was on your bucket list?
It's just my top 10. 6.
What are the
on my
others?
bucket list is to stop being on this show.
What else is on that list?
May we ask? Can we?
Well,
It's a bunch of
It's a
Jimmy
little
Buffett
outdated.
stuff.
It's a
Oh,
little
well,
outdated.
is still
Hang
fine.
out with Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, I think that's
Chill
number-
with
good.
Jimmy
number
Buffett.
3.
Is that real? Yeah. Actually, have a beer with Obama and Jimmy Buffett. Parentheses,
At the same time.
Listen, man, shoot for the stars.
Wait, read number 1.
Oh, okay, number 1. Become bass player for the Birds. Holy shit! No, I got some bad news for you.
I know.
buddy.
I said it's a little outdated. All right. So anyway,
Sail
Wow,
across
any-
the ocean.
Anything else? Well, you do sail, don't you?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
you have a boat, right?
I
Or-
don't have a boat now, but I get to use other people's boats.
I was gonna say you definitely project like you have a boat.
He's got
Oh, yeah,
big
yeah.
Like you
sailor energy.
definitely put out that energy.
I do. I live that sailor mentality.
Well, that's good.
Just
What
take it
is
easy.
the sailor mentality? Is it like,
Yo ho ho, and a bottle.
or is it
Yeah.
more like a pirate
pirate's
looks
life for
at
me.
whatever age you happen to be at
No.
the time?
Yeah, you drink like a pirate and then sail like a
Pirate.
killer sailor.
Step
Race
one,
like
drink
a sailor.
like
Wait,
a pirate.
it's
Step
drink,
3, profit.
drink like a pirate, race like a sailor. You know, whatever. No, I'm missing something there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've
But
never.
I did, yeah. I do some long distance racing. That's what I do now.
Excellent. Yeah, and you did that like throughout the summer a
Yeah,
bit.
that was a big one. Out in
Where
Michigan.
was it? Where,
I was out in Michigan in Lake Huron. A 200-mile race takes 51 hours to finish.
did you? What did?
Yeah.
Is it? Do
And
you
we were-
place in this race?
Yeah, we were 5th out of 20 boats in our
wow.
class.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Went through some pretty intense storms.
Yeah, well,
Um,
those people, you think of the Great Lakes,
Yeah.
and you think of, or you think of a lake, and
Yeah.
you think of this nice calm body of water. But
Yes.
if you go there, it's
It's
like
like
the
being
ocean.
on the ocean.
Like, it's,
oh no,
it's
it was
insane.
8-foot swells
Yeah.
for about 5 hours.
Yeah, like
and,
these lakes are not just like, oh yeah,
No.
I'm gonna go,
No.
I'm gonna go for a swim.
Yeah. There was a storm here on a Monday that had some tornadoes and all that different stuff, like knocked over telephone poles. That was the same thing. We were on the water.
Wow.
It was 30 miles an hour. So take that telephone pole, strap this huge sail that catches wind. That's pretty
sick.
intense.
Yeah. How do you keep your nerve?
It's so there was a point, it was about 10 o'clock at night when this kicked in. And my buddy is one of the crew members, and
Just
he's,
as you're
he's
probably
sailing.
expecting to settle down for the night.
And this boat is so heeled over. The captain's wife is in there getting sick, and he leans out and he goes, "If we go in the water, you got to release this sail, otherwise we get pulled down." And you go, "Holy shit!" And then after about 10 minutes, you go, "Oh well, got to trust the boat, got to trust the captain." And for 5 hours, you sit there like going, "Holy shit, this is pretty intense."
I put 50 hours into Nintendo. I've already beaten the game and I'm playing it again over
Yeah.
the summer.
Good for
so,
you.
know,
Yeah.
It's good to really see the
I
perspective.
know, exactly.
You know,
now,
hard
you
work is
had
hard
to have
work,
that
right,
point
Jim?
of fear, like, and then you just overcome that fear.
Yeah, I
and then
might
you're
run
like,
out of battery. It's
I
fear,
could make
man.
this.
You
I
can't
could make
compare
this.
struggles, Chris. It's just unfair
Yeah.
to both of you.
Wait, what game did you put 50 hours into?
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Legend of
The
Zelda.
Legend of Zelda.
Oh,
It's a Legend of Zelda, Dad. You wouldn't get it.
Look,
Zelda's
I was
the
around.
one with the sword, right?
I was around when the first Zelda came out in like,
you were in, like, your mid-
still
like
don't know what
80
Legend of Zelda
back in
is.
'86.
I was around for Pong.
You want to know something? I was also around. So as we actually try to get started,
Oh, this is an interview.
the
isn't it?
first question is what did you see in this
Oh, come on.
inviting?
Oh,
us
you guys, you want to
to
go start with that?
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
well, that's the
No,
first question.
that's a good
But
point, though.
because we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
kind of camped out at the outpost on the
Yeah.
other side of town, and you came to see us there. I think
Right,
actually maybe
and
the
so-
episode Jesse was a guest.
yeah.
That's right. And it goes back to that season before that when you were up in Red Bank.
Yeah.
The first show I heard of was Connor of Leeds, Connor Bracken.
Oh, okay.
And he was on with Jeff Crespi. And so I know Connor. I said, well, I'll check it out. And I know Jeff. And I watched it. I go, that was a really good show. Because on that,
You
and
caught
that was
us
a really
on a good one too.
Well,
that was
and
a
it
really
was
good,
because
that was a good show.
you had Connor being all goofy and you guys were joking around and having a good time, and then you had Jeff, who was a real serious conversation. You know, he was talking about his substance abuse and all that stuff, and it was like really intense. And I go, this is a music show. Why isn't this in Asbury Park? Kind of bugged me a little bit. Wow. And so, and then you move down to Outpost, and I go, all right, is that in
so
Asbury Park?
now we're within striking
This is
distance.
September of last year, right? So we're close to a year. I think it was September
or like July, August.
maybe it was July,
But I mean,
August.
it's
Yeah, either
it's
way.
been over a year, I think.
And then was it the same night, or were you there a second time? And we started talking about just the show in general, and then you go, well, we actually need a home.
Yeah,
And
I think that was the second night we were there.
Yeah.
And I think it was you said something like, oh yeah, well, if you ever feel like relocating, you might have. And I remember like either texting you or emailing you like the next day saying, funny you mentioned that.
I know, right?
Because the Outpost is closing and with no notice, like we
Yeah.
have no home starting next week.
Right.
And
I
that
feel like
was-
this is such a good fit, though. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys like you're bringing all the different bands that are here that are part of the scene. You're letting the people who are tied into Asbury know what's happening behind the scenes, get to know the people behind the music. So I think it's great. It's a great fit.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is like one of my favorite. It's kind of a neat way to sort of give people a more long form introduction to the scene, especially you have like a touring act like I'm thinking of like Tyler Plazio or Radiator King or something like that, who aren't from around here but come through. And people kind of see him, but they're still sort of strangers. I'd love to get like Luke Dowler in here too, because now he's starting to come around a lot more. But yeah, people like that who are from elsewhere, but we don't get to see them like day to day.
Right.
Kind of an interesting way for people to sort of get to know some of these people.
Yeah.
So.
You said an interesting thing where when you saw us in Red Bank that first time, you said, why isn't this in Asbury? It's about music.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, like, the music for you, Asbury and music are so closely tied together. What do you see your role in that? Do you have, I mean, obviously,
it's kinda
running
weird,
Music
right,
Foundation,
right.
but you personally, like, it seems like you have your own little secret side mission.
What's your motive?
Yeah, that's
More
a
or
good
less,
question.
yeah.
I don't know. I do wonder sometimes too. But because I was just here, being the audience for all you guys and watching this stuff and being part of it. Once I connected into the foundation, it gave me more of a role in being part of the business side. But then as I've gotten to know all the different artists, I feel like there's an element that, as much as you're enjoying performing, you're also trying to make a living. And some people, if I could bring some sense of that, business sense to that, I just sit down and I talk with people, and I don't know where to go. I do think there's an opportunity for Asbury Park that at some point, if it cracks through and gets out there, it'll be good for everyone. And there's a lot of people working on this. So if I'm just one more person trying to chip away, go to South by Southwest, see what kind of connections you make.
Yeah.
Just trying to say, I'm a little bit of the data nerd, so I look at the streams and the counts and try to figure out like what pops, who's doing well and what are they doing different than others, just to see if we can't collectively make something cool happen.
I really hope our stream count does well tonight. Then.
Yeah, that's right.
Crunching the numbers.
Can I rewind for a little
Yeah,
bit?
yeah.
Because you're talking a lot about the business side. I just wanted to ask, like, how did you get involved with the foundation in the first place? Like,
right.
where did it start?
Yeah. It is kind of funny because
You
I
signed
was
a blood pack on a
Yeah.
this night.
I was one of those people that I had so it's not quite 4 years, but close to 4 years ago, I moved my office here just because I was coming here all the time anyway. So why not work here and then end work here so I could just go out? And I said, I was looking around. I talked to some people at Interfaith. I'm just trying to see how I could get involved in the community. And the foundation, I kind of applied a couple times and said, hey, you need volunteers? No one replies. I run into John Liedersdorf at Lake House when they were having the grand opening for this space because the foundation used to be on Cookman. And I said, you really don't need volunteers? He's like, oh, no, we desperately need volunteers. And I go, well, and I was just trying to get like some free tickets to some shows or whatever. And then I think it was about, I met with a couple other people, and all of a sudden I was on the board. You know, I just thought I was going to tear tickets. And then it was only like 3 months later I was asked to chair the board. And I go, yeah, okay. You know, you volunteer a little bit, and all of a sudden, you know, you're in. But it was a good fit, and I think a lot of good timing in a lot of ways.
Very cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and you just completed 2 years
Yes.
as you know, as the chairperson of the board.
That's right.
So what were, you know, you want to share with us maybe some of the more memorable events of your tenure, kind of being the person in charge?
It was a good 2 years, and when I say it was the right fit at the right time, there's great people on this board. There's great people on this staff, and
there's a wide variety too.
Oh,
it's not
exactly,
just
no.
business people, musicians,
In
teachers,
fact,
studio owners. Yeah,
right.
like
The business side was a little bit of the gap.
yeah.
You know, so you had a lot of people in the music business or connected to it in a lot of ways, and it was a little bit in disarray because of some turnover on the staff and everything. So the financials were out of order, and a lot of processes were not there. So in a sense, we rebuilt the staff, we rebuilt the process, we got things organized in such a way that some relatively new numbers, I don't have the exact numbers, but when we ended the fiscal year, we're kind of tallying things up. And when I came in, we were running at about $450,000 in funds that were raised that we could put back to the community in terms of the youth music programs and the events we do. And when we ended this fiscal year, it was up. It's over 700,000.
Wow.
It's about a
That should,
58% growth in that. I mean, it was.
That's
And look, all that goes back to the community. And look, there's a lot of people involved. You know, I was one piece of this. We had a lot of big things in terms of that holiday event we introduced last year was a big chunk of it. The Asbury Park Music and Film Festival had been doing well, but this year in particular did very well. We had fundraisers like softball and different things. So it's a whole variety of different things that add up.
yeah. And I mean, right now you've got the you've got like music in the park. You've got
Yeah,
the
that's right. We do the
Asbury,
free
Asbury
concert
Park
series.
Live
Yeah.
on Wednesday. I think Bracken's playing this week,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Our
that's
buddy-
right. Yeah.
And I am playing. With
Yeah, I
You're
heard
playing
that.
with him, yeah.
I signed a blood pack on Winless Night. Now I'm playing for the
Yeah.
Melodies.
Yep. Yeah. So 3 nights a week we have for all summer long. We have free concerts, and that's kind of a give back to the community. Again, courtesy of sponsors. There's a lot of corporate sponsors that stepped up and made things happen.
Like who?
Let's see. So I have to do this by memory, but
I mean, we know Mogo's one of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, that's right. So
Tito's
that's the
Vodka
one.
has paid a lot
know.
of money to play
Yeah.
in an
Well, and I'm
airport.
most involved with the Asbury Park Live, the Wednesday night series, which is Mogo, Watermark, Lake House, Asbury Park Food Collective, Ansel Grimm and Aaron, First Constitution Bank. So it's a mix of kind of people in and out of the music business. And then I can't remember all the sponsors. So if
Can
I
we
start
get- do you
naming
think-
some.
Can we get this show sponsored by Tito's Vodka?
Oh,
I know,
my
really.
goodness.
Can we? Is
That'd
it
be
like
kind of funny.
Are we allowed to have
You know,
vodka
the last
in
time you
this
Well,
said
I
that,
think as long
you
as
said
maybe we
Mogo,
put it in, like,
and
a
a week
brown
later
paper
we had
bag.
Mogo.
room? Okay.
So you did throw it out
Can
there.
it be
Matt, you
a
down?
brown Mogo bag? Just to like kind of kill two birds with one stone.
That
Yeah,
would be
get two birds
helpful.
stoned
We
at
still
once.
do. We still are sponsored by Mogo. They come in the first new episode of every month.
Oh, good.
So
All
that's,
right.
they're still we're still
That's
plucking
nice.
away.
Yeah, yeah, they're great.
We
Right.
couldn't convince them to give us free food
Every
every
week.
week.
Right, I know.
Somehow they realized that deal was not quite in their favor.
I didn't want to talk about that. as we have to start wrapping up.
Yeah.
2 quick questions. Connor, actually from the
I
Mother
had a
Leeds
feeling
band,
you said- yeah, there was
We were
wrote in
testing earlier
to
today.
ask
Called
what
in.
your favorite Buffett song is.
No, I asked that, I think.
Did you? I don't
Yeah.
know. I should
Well,
go
you're
back
in,
and
you're in Mother
I could
Leeds
go
band this
Yeah.
week,
check
so
the
I guess
group
that
chat.
Right.
makes sense.
So what is your
All right,
favorite?
so look, I am a parrot head
Yes.
in that I went to 30 years of Buffett shows, mostly for the tailgate, but I'm not a Jimmy Buffett music nut, but I do have some favorite songs.
Please.
A Pirate Looks at 40 is no
course.
question.
Okay,
Mother,
that's a
Mother
good one.
Ocean. Son of a Sailor, obviously ties in. And then, there's one.
Big fan of the song "Math Sucks."
Yeah,
You
that's
good?
right.
You good
Oh,
math?
gosh.
You big
Yeah,
math
yeah.
sucks guy.
My kids actually got into that for a little while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was into that.
Yeah.
Well, my
still
dad
think-
was a Buffett guy too.
Yeah.
I still think
Yeah, it
Jimmy
was.
Buffett has what is one of the funniest album titles of all time, which is "Living and Dying in 3/4 Time." Like
That's a
Three
great.
quarter
That's a
time.
great.
But I was telling you that one because it's the it's a lyric to a song.
Yeah,
so.
but it's just like
Yeah,
that's the funny.
Living
It
and Dying
makes
in
no
3/4 time.
sense. None
Yeah.
of the songs are in.
But that's a
three-quarter
great. But that's a
time.
great album title.
Yeah, great album.
Yeah.
But can I just say like a little anecdote that I found out that I think is really adorable?
What?
You know how fans are called parrot heads? I found out that younger fans are called parakeets.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah. There's a
adorable.
Parakeet album, and my kids were part of that. They grew up on those songs, and then
Oh, I
got
thought you meant
taken
like
to
they
some
were
shows.
guests on the album.
They're featured
No, they
on
were
the-
part of it, meaning they listened
They're
to
on
it.
the
They were
cover.
part of the what parrotheads do to their kids is kind of force them to get into
What
it.
they do to their kids.
You know, and you trick them in because they have kids singing the Jimmy Buffett songs, and then all of a sudden they know all the words, and then all of a
Do
sudden
they
you
know
go,
the words like Margarita? Like they took this
Oh, yeah.
Margaritaville.
Oh,
Well, they
totally
probably
don't.
don't know. I hope they don't know.
maybe not that one.
Yeah,
I hope
Maybe
they.
not that
I
one.
hope they don't know the words to "Why Don't We Get Drunk and Screwed."
Yeah, that's right.
That teaches a great lesson about commitment, if you ask me. All right,
Anyway,
that was
so
supposed to be a quick question.
One more song. One more song.
Oh yeah.
He's out.
One more question.
On the piano. Go ahead.
What sense of reward does working with the community bring you?
Oh, and that I'm glad you brought that up too, because we kind of just touched on the youth music education, but that's what drives me by far. I mean, I love the whole music scene, but we are funding kids coming into music lessons, and it's done at Lake House, and they're not teaching. They're teaching life skills. It's intentional that this whole program is built around it. And what's been cool is by working with the Hip Hop Institute over at the Boys and Girls Club and Lake House, I get to know the kids by name. And there's some that have now gone a couple years, and there was an EP release party for someone here that she's going off to college. She's going to go into the recording engineers. There's some kids who come up and they're like, hey, how do I get into that Lake House? And we give them scholarships. But just getting to know them. And there's some interesting things going to come out of this in terms of we're bringing kids from the West Side and Asbury, Neptune, and we're just integrating them in. They're growing up with kids in Lake House. And so, you tend to like learn from the neighborhood you grow in. And we've interviewed kids and they go, oh yeah, I have friends at school, but my bandmates, they're my friends.
Yeah.
And so, it's going to, and we did something interesting too. I'll wrap it up soon, but did it interesting where we did 10-week session and we did a genre buster class where we took kids from the Hip Hop Institute and Lake House that were playing mostly rock, and we sat them together with one of our best instructors and we said, write music. And they came up with 10 weeks. They came up with 4 songs,
Wow.
co-written. The 11-year-old is producing them, by the way. And he is brilliant. So this is, this is another wave of some interesting things coming out of Asbury. So
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
yeah. So, but thank you guys. It's been a pleasure
Thank
sitting
you,
on the
Jim.
side.
This has
Jim,
really
you're
been
always
great.
welcome. Like anytime you want to come in and talk to us. Like,
You guys dragged me out here a few times.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
All right. Thanks.
Jim Lenskold, everybody.
Oh, I gotta do an ad now. Doing ads, running sound. I do it all. Don't trip, Jim. Thank God. Oh my God, if you had tripped. Am I on? Am I on?
We're doing it live.
Oh, the light's not on. Sorry. One more. Brian Erickson is sponsored by You Don't Know Jersey. Owned and operated by Allison Ed Maziak. You Don't Know Jersey has been bringing its readers all the best in Garden State sports, music, art, film, and culture for nearly a decade. Who do I want to pull out? Hey, Connor, would you like to read a side-by-side comparison of our current president, our most recent former president? What the hell are you doing here? Go read Shade by Peter Sousa, you dingus. What the fuck, Brian? You didn't read Shade by Peter Sousa.
I did.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I did. I did read it.
Brian Erickson, welcome to the resistance. Jesus Christ. So whether you're in High Point, Cape May, or anywhere in between, visit YouDon'tKnowJersey.com. You don't know Jersey, because when pizza's on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime. That was a good one.
Don't crumple that up. We need the ads on the back too.
Yeah,
for
the
later.
back is my half.
That was a great one.
Thank you. We need
I'm
more.
moving on to the bucket list.
We need more chairs.
We're just going to make them stand.
Are we?
Yeah, the drummer can stand. He's going to be sitting for the rest of the night.
All right. Well, their latest EP, Feel the Sunshine, is now available everywhere. Let's figure out how to bring on the Afraid Brigade.
Guys, just crowd around.
Yeah. Here, let me scoot a little bit.
Yeah, don't trip, please.
I'm trying.
Oh, handshakes. Thank you, Chris.
Good game, good hustle, great hustle.
There's another stool over there if you want to grab that too.
Do you guys-
I'm just
yeah.
gonna,
You guys
I'm
want-
about to get real cozy with
like, just
Brian
like-
and hide right behind him in the shot.
All right, so just kind of gather around these.
Take the seat on the table here.
Take a seat right here.
Take a seat right
Hello,
over
Robert.
there.
We're all
friends now.
Yeah.
Here, you wanna come
This
around?
goes a lot easier, a lot better choreographed on actual TV.
I am assuming I'm not in the shot at all, but I'm happy to be here.
I'm hiding behind Brian. Like you can't even.
We'll be fine.
I have no idea. I can't even
I have two bigger shoulders.
No, this is fine.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
I gotta be broad. There's angles. Matt,
I'll
we good?
huddle right
We'll
here.
figure it out.
Yeah, no, we're fine. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
Nice to finally be here.
Yeah, I feel like this one
thanks
has
for
been a
having
long time coming that we've been like talking about bringing you guys on forever.
Well, thank you for
I mean-
finally getting around.
Yeah, well, so I think when we first brought it up, we're like, oh, we'll bring it on for the next, next time you guys release something.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
so
that's
did you know?
yeah, then the inevitable heat death
Next
of the universe
decade.
happened, and then we were able to finally bring you guys on.
Were these conversations I wasn't aware of?
Yeah, of course. The amount of invitations I extend and be like, just message Brian is unfathomable. Rick
Well, I
Barry's
only-
gonna hit you up at some point.
Because I don't get very many messages.
Oh, okay, I'll start
That's not
helping with
surprising.
booking.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm not surprised. But let's go around first. Let's introduce the band. Just for the unfamiliar.
You guys can.
Oh, I'm Zach. I play the drums, and that's it. Really.
I'm Joe. I sing and I play the easy guitar parts.
I'm Ben, and I'm acutely aware of my posture right now. I'm the bass player.
Sit up straight.
I'm Tyler, and I pretty much do whatever Joe asks me to do.
Sometimes
good.
Daddy
No,
lets
you
you play
plays
the guitar.
piano
Know
and
your role.
guitar.
We can't get that horny. We can't get that horny, Zach. Watch it.
And he writes most of the orchestration you hear anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
If
really?
anybody's playing something, chances are he wrote the part.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, excellent. So first, congratulations on the new record.
Thank you.
It's excellent. How's it doing?
Good.
Like good audience response, a lot of listeners. What's the barometer for you for a record doing well?
I try not to think about it.
Okay.
But that's we're all very happy with it. This was the first time we didn't record it ourselves. Connor, standing over there, Connor Hansen, who works at Lake House just over there, recorded it for us and mixed it for us. So it was a far more professional outing than we've ever done before, and really, so we recorded a real grand piano instead of a fake one, a real violin. We tried to do as many real things as we possibly could, even using the real Moog synthesizer is actually the same ones that's on the record instead of just finding a
Like
you
a
know,
setting on a
one
keyboard,
setting
yeah.
on in Logic or something. Like it's a real, try to do it as legitimately as we possibly could with this one, and I'm really happy with the way it came out.
We even have a real drummer.
Finally got it. Yeah.
I
As
think
far as,
honestly, the worst part, not the worst part, but it was just having to work with someone else's deadline rather than us. We can sit on it for 2 years and work on it, and it was just a little more motivation. Like we have someone else's time and energy invested in it.
Is that something you felt you needed to take? Is that like a step you felt you needed to take, kind of making yourselves uncomfortable?
I think.
We certainly needed a fire under.
Yeah,
our
yeah.
butts.
Yeah.
And a desire not to repeat ourselves as well. Just to have somebody else involved that's like that can just take a step back and say like, hey, maybe this isn't working.
And during the whole process, not to have to listen to your own songs 5,000 times.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
you
that
absolutely reach a point where you're not fixing things anymore. You're just
Making
changing
them
things because you're
different.
tired of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they say like art is never finished; it's just abandoned. That's,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that might be the motto of Fray Brigade. Art is never finished. It's just a band.
I don't know who said that, but
It's just
somebody
released.
smart said that.
For me, this album is interesting because I've been a huge fan of you guys for a very long time, and this one feels like you guys are moving towards, like, whereas the last ones were kind of still fitting within the conventions of, let's say, like a rock band. This one feels like you guys are playing around with both genre and arrangement in a lot of different ways. Like, there's only, up top of my head, there's only like one, like, here's a rock and roll song on this record, and
Yeah.
everything else is kind of exploring a lot of different stuff. So where was that coming from?
You reach a point where you don't want to repeat yourself, and we've written a lot of songs. Like, I love You Are a Ghost, love that song, but we didn't need another song that sounded just like it on the record, and we've written lots of songs in that vein.
Yeah.
So everything I was writing at the time, every single song on this record was supposed to be for somebody else. None of it was supposed to be an Afraid Brigade song. You Are a Ghost I wrote for my friend Rich, and then I ended up working it. Yeah, he went in such a completely different direction with it that I just asked if I could finish it myself. So that was supposed to be for somebody else. Heaven Feels Far and Truth were supposed to be, and even Stole My Heart for a minute. I was thinking about doing them by myself, just because you reach a point. I reached a point at the beginning of the writing of this record that I just couldn't think of what the next Afraid Brigade record should be, and it gets really limiting when you think about your music that way, and you think like, okay, this next song has to be better than every other thing we've done in the past. So it's really freeing to just think of it in a different way, to just tell yourself, okay, I'm not working on a Afraid Brigade song, I'm just working on a song.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like how everything started out, because a lot of the stuff that Joe had demoed with like these songs, like early versions of it, it was just he wanted to do it like kind of by himself and maybe like add some, I forget, we were gonna work on it, like add some like percussion stuff or something like that. I was like, we could really do these like as Afraid Brigade songs.
Yeah, because the first thing I was always thinking was, these are all way too quiet to be Afraid Brigade songs.
Or they were just so different. They're all so different.
Yeah,
like,
but you guys found within that quietness, like you guys found new ways to explore each individual part. So it became a point where like anytime there is a guitar solo in this album, it feels earned, as opposed to
Ghosty Ghost.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I feel like it kind of
Stole
explodes.
My
Don't even notice.
And Stole My Heart kind of explodes in this way that like
yeah.
when you guys like, what is that idea of earning? Like, where did these arrangements come from the band? Because Ben, you're a very busy bass player, and I deeply love it. But like this album, there's songs where it's just here's a root note every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what the song needs, and I mean, after hearing them for so long with just Joe playing them, I mean, really, I feel like most of the songs. I mean, we didn't let Joe get away with doing these songs by himself, you know, because at the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I'm a Joe Ruff fan, you know, so I couldn't really leave the songs alone. And
He's so damn cute. You can't not. Like
yeah, I mean, look at that face. And the hair.
It's the first time I've ever seen him smile, and it looks pained.
Yeah, I think the point with a lot of songs was just you don't want to repeat yourself. So you say, okay, let's do something quieter than we've ever done before, and let's do something louder than we've ever done. That's what Stole My Heart was.
And also, let's do something that feels pushing towards, like, Stole My Heart doesn't feel like something that happens from a rock and roll band. It feels like something that happens in, like, almost in a musical or something. Mm-hmm. It feels like out of time in a way.
Yeah, I was listening to Pink Elephants on Parade, and I had like a whole different song that was like kind of the melody of that, and then got shortened and chopped and mixed, and it really did come from
something
Pink
entirely different.
And my desire to put a breakdown into something.
Yeah, I mean, you got like the breakdown is just, and then against that idea of like here's a very quiet song, and then when that breakdown actually hits, like it feels so.
Oh, it's gonna smack you in the face.
Yeah, like it really explodes in a fascinating way.
Yeah,
Brian,
what kind of no, please. This is what I always hoped this
it's just
would
like
become.
I would just like finally have the chance to like spew about Afraid Brigade in front of them and in front of cameras.
Well, because you do this a lot, like when we're just in conversation, like you talk about how much you like this band. So it's by all means.
May I interject? Because you've been a fan for a while. I only just recently became a big fan, so I've been listening to all of it nonstop. But like it's all very good. But like I've noticed that like you kind of like to play in this kind of spooky realm of fun, dancey kind of.
Dancing songs about vampires.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Joe before this? Because that's exactly probably the things that he would want to hear the most about.
Oh, well,
spooky
no.
and a little bit
Spooky Disney is what I always say.
I love that.
The natural progression of My Chemical Romance is another way to approach it.
The first time I ever saw you live was your EP release, and when you ended with Teenagers, I definitely screamed way too loud when the song started. So if you heard a shrill shriek from the audience, it was me. No, I just wanted to say like. I felt this, the EP was the first thing I listened to when I went back and listened to the old stuff and came back. I really found that you played more within the theatrical as opposed to like just the aesthetic, like just kind of like what Chris was talking about. Like there was a lot of kind of ups and downs, and like the Pink Elephants on Parade thing I think is a very apt comparison to how I feel like it all kind of plays out. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know.
I've lost the track of the question, but there was a question in there, but
how did you kind of
Yes.
how did you I guess how did you fall more into kind of playing within the theatrics of your music as opposed to kind of putting forth a
lot of it came from I played a couple solo shows, that's for sure. This was the first time I ever every other song we'd just work on together, or we'd start with Tyler and I working on something and then we show it to everybody. This was I played a couple solo shows and I had to get stuff ready, so I had at least 3 of these songs all
Yeah.
Heaven,
You
Stole
had,
My
like,
Heart,
I think
and
everything. I think You Are a Ghost was really the only one that we just decided was going to be in the Frey Brigade.
but like knowing I was gonna play a solo show really made me like pay attention to dynamics in a way that I hadn't before. So that's where it's Stole My Heart comes like, okay, well I don't have a band around me, I can't get any louder, but you can get quieter. And you can get a lot quieter. You can get so quiet that people get a little uncomfortable, and then if you start shouting at them right when they think you're going to be quiet, that hopefully gets people's attention.
That's my
Also,
favorite.
I think
Marlon
that's the
Williams
story
is
of
a
the
huge
mountain
influence.
goats right there.
Marlon Williams is a huge influence on me. I saw him do his cover of When I Was a Young Girl live at Town Hall, and it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. It was just him and another bassist, and yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, obviously, like, me and Chris both have our education in theater, and so, like, my favorite thing in kind of that presentation of something like this is just playing with silence, because it fucks with people so hard. And so I think that the ways that you did in this album are really powerful, and I wanted to commend you on that.
Yeah, it's just as effective as any other tool.
Oh
Just
yeah,
not
and I think a lot, as much as we try to write pretty things and like nice melodies, we're always down for something that's like what can make you cringe a little bit to hear it. You
Is
know what I
that
mean?
But, like,
is
a good
that
cringe.
purposeful?
Yeah.
When you do that, when you say like I want to play with the listeners' expectations, or if it's a live show, I want to play with the audience expectations.
Yeah, you just don't want people to get bored.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I think that's why even like our music is pretty accessible to other musicians. I know like people who aren't into music might not notice it, but if you notice like certain scales or like certain things, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Well, I was-
you're doing like reggae. Like I'm thinking back on like
Oh,
if I
please.
started.
That's
like,
what we always
there's
try to
kinda, like,
sneak some
There's
reggae
like a
in
little bit of
there.
like some
Yeah,
white boy
there's-
reggae.
You didn't hear
in
the
middle
reggae breakdown
of,
in
like
the
a
two
rock and
parts.
roll songs.
Good look, you gotta bring the funk sometimes.
Yeah, I mean-
like I feel like some parts like You Are a Ghost. I feel like I never have the chance to kind of go a little bit, coming from Joe's background of playing a lot of folky kind of stuff and my kind of romancy type of emo music. It's not easy to like inject a little bit of funk in there, but sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah,
Just
and
for your own
Well,
sanity.
I don't think we're
never-
ever
it's never
limited
just-
by genre.
Yeah, and it
really,
never
I think.
feels. I don't know. It never feels forced. Like it never
No.
feels
No.
like. And suddenly we're gonna be 311. Like it feels like it's a natural part of the song that
Yeah.
kind of bridges it.
The
Just
song
sneak
like
it in.
tells you what it wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really.
No, yeah, the band is always going to be me writing very simple songs and them like making it more interesting,
Yeah.
forcing me to make it more interesting.
That's true.
Yeah.
How much do you resist that, and how much do you just kind of go
I'm-
with it?
I probably resist it way more than I ought to. But eventually, they're always right. But at the beginning, you're never completely sold on an idea just because when something's new, you got to hear it a couple times before it. But
Yeah.
when something's right, you don't want to change it. Then once you get used to something, or it was the right decision.
I also want to talk about this is something I've wondered for a really long time is how much is the macabre aspect of the band and like done in an ironic way or in a way that's meant to be humorous because I mean the album's called Feel the Sunshine but it's also an album that's about people in dire situations or people in dark situations. So where are you balancing as a writer this like the irony of the macabre?
Contrast is interesting. I'm all about contrast.
But are you thinking about how sometimes, because like I mean, Stole My Heart is it's an absurd. It's like the stakes of it are so high.
Yes.
And
Definitely
is that
over the
something
top.
you're like purposely trying to be over the top, or are you just trying to be honest with it,
Um,
or do you even think about that?
No, I mean I definitely. I don't know. I like to certainly see myself as more a character when I'm singing. I'm not necessarily like every word is not. I'm definitely like I try to think of myself as a character when I'm singing.
Yeah, you're telling the story.
For sure. I don't want to just write song. I feel like I've done all the super biographical stuff
Or
in
like
my
journal entry
teen
type
years where it's and everybody I feel like everybody writes. You hear so many young musicians and everybody writes the same songs at some point in their life and you kind of have to. You gotta, and you just get to a point where I don't want to write another song about me going to the bank. Right, like you
Let's
get
bank
bored.
about you
songs,
going
You
to the
get
bank.
bored. Well, no, that was my your teen years where you think like, oh, everything in my life is interesting. Everything that happens to me is the first time it's ever happened to anyone, and the world needs to hear about this time. Girl didn't show up at the mall when she said she'd be there.
That was very real. We
That
just
came from a deep place.
That's
But-
very
and
And that's
truthful
another
place.
song we're working on.
Yeah, the mall song. The Frey Brigade
Mall
presents
song.
the mall song. I would actually play that.
I hope we get that
Yeah.
one day.
Tyler, let's talk the balance of when you're playing guitar versus playing piano, because I feel like as a guitar player, you deeply, am I wrong to assume you deeply love 80s hair metal solos?
Actually, I grew up a lot with metal and stuff like that.
Okay.
Played some death metal. back in the day.
You don't strike me as the type.
You know some death metal.
No, yeah, of course, me.
Children of Bodom was
Of
really
course.
big on
Cannibal
that.
Corpse.
Yeah, a little
Well,
bit.
the Mountain Goats has that one song about the best little death metal band in
The best little death metal.
right?
You don't
Isn't
need,
that
you
the
don't
best?
need to make it all about the Mountain Goats, Brian.
But I mean, I know you have
The fact that he
an,
said that
an,
to you is
an
really
access
baffling.
point
I know it's a
for
bit, oh my God.
metal band of some kind.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
So when you're pulling as a guitar player versus a piano player, I feel like you're much more like it's coming from a more classical way. Do you have? How does that drive your arrangements
Well,
and your
that's
writing?
actually, what's really funny is that metal band, they played like a lot of classical style key stuff, but then the guitar player in the band played a lot of blues.
Okay.
So like that mix right there, like totally goes into like who I am today. Absolutely. Just learning all the little keyboard solos from that dude and all the guitar solos from that guy. Like it definitely reflects a lot of my playing.
All right. And what was the name of that band?
Children of Bodom.
Children of Bodom. Such a badass name.
Now we have to wrap it up. I do have one more question for you. On your Bandcamp, when you click on the new record, the description of it is you're either gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. How does that reflect?
I don't know about that.
I think it's pretty true.
It's a
I mean,
pretty.
How does-
like? It's
I
not
mean, I
like,
guess it's a statement you could say about anything.
Yeah, but like also
But
like it's not like it's like
how
not
does it
accessible.
how does it reflect against the band's own feelings on the record, how it turned out, how you expect people to consume it? Like, is that how does that reflect on your own feelings of the record?
It seems so obvious now that they're like good songs, but at the time it wasn't obvious, and it was like I really spent a lot of time thinking people are not gonna like this record. It's gonna be so slow. No, like,
Oh yeah.
I think someone coming new to the band would like it, but if you were expecting us to do anything we've done, if you were expecting us to do another Stars Again, or another first record, this really isn't that. So
Yeah, but
just hope people can follow you on
Yeah.
the trajectory.
I mean,
See, I kind of feel like it's so. I think it is probably the least accessible because I think that everything is so out there. It could go for like the most quiet stuff to like the most like heavy things we've ever done. Like this stretches everything, like each side of the spectrum. So I feel like if you don't like that sort of thing, you're probably not gonna. It's not like there's a lot of songs to pick from. There's
Yeah,
like
I guess you got a
5
point,
songs,
yeah.
But
so.
if you're not about kind of sitting down, it's only like 20 minutes.
You gotta
Just
strap
like,
yourself in.
Strap
Absolutely.
yourself
Yeah,
in and
strap
just really
yourself
listen to
I
the whole
hate
thing,
writing
just-
about this album paragraphs, so that's mostly probably what that
Okay,
is.
I get what you're saying.
Just
Yeah,
hate it.
you just have no. I mean, yeah, it's hard to like.
I don't know what to say about it.
That's what you said about it is the album. That is
Yeah.
all you need to say. And here we are asking you to like
But they-
think deeply
Please
about
verbalize your
Well,
musical
Well,
record.
how about we do
No,
this?
I'll come up with all the good answers to these questions on the way back.
Well,
how
I
about
already
we
got
do
some
this?
much better answers.
Why don't we
that I
do?
just
We'll do the
couldn't
same
How
thing
about-
next week. We'll do the same interview. We'll read a transcript.
Next week, just call in and say what you want
Over
to
the
say.
phone.
Yeah.
Or we could get you guys set up. You could play some of these new songs for us.
And
Oh
let,
my God.
And let the
Alright.
public decide what they think.
All right, let's do it. Let's get you set
Strap
up.
in.
Jess
Cool.
gonna read
Jesse's
some
gonna
ads.
read some ads. I'm gonna do
And
so
the
much.
events?
And the events, yeah.
Yeah. All
Well,
right,
we'll
so-
see. It depends on how long it takes you to do all this, which is probably gonna take me a really long
Okay.
time.
Well, y'all are gonna have to help me because I'm surrounded by chairs, so my legs don't work.
Don't worry about it.
Whew. Okay.
Hold on to this one.
Yes.
This one is gonna be Joe.
Okay. I'm
This-
gonna
do
have
we
to
need
stay like
this,
here because the
do
cord
we
is
need
much
this at all?
shorter than
No?
it usually is. Alright. Gee golly. Alrighty.
Jolly G. Put that cable. I just threw a bunch of cables trying to figure this out.
This is gonna be the most wild ad read I've ever done. One More with Brian Erickson is brought to you by the Asbury Park Music Foundation. APMF raises money to support youth music programs throughout Asbury Park that provide lasting skills, self-confidence, and life-changing experiences for underserved kids in our community. This includes funding for the Hip Hop Institute at the Boys and Girls Club of Monmouth, in-school music programs at Hope Academy, and scholarships for kids to attend Lake House Music Academy. APMF also hosts concert series throughout the year. Whether it's Music Mondays at Springwood Park or Asbury Park Live over the summer, Suburbia Friday nights, or the Sunday Songwriter Series, APMF always has something going on. Check out their calendar for more details. And if you're interested in making a meaningful difference in the community or keeping Asbury Park's legacy of music alive, head to asburyparkmusiclives.org to make a donation. And while you're there, pick up a Music Saved Asbury Park t-shirt. All proceeds make it possible to support the Music Saved My Life youth music programs. One More is also brought to you by Bordentown Guitar Rescue.
Surrounded by certified luthier Mike Vierock, Bordentown Guitar Rescue has been building, modifying, customizing, and repairing stringed instruments since 2012. Why wait a month for a basic setup from one of the big retailers when Bordentown Guitar Rescue has the quickest turnaround time in this state? So whether there's a crackle in your jack or it's time to saddle up your bridge, I know, he makes
I
me...
was hoping you were going to say crackle in your jackal.
That would have been so much better. Brian, take notes. In your jackal. Yeah. Like Jack dash ol. It's a rhyme.
A dingle in your dangle.
There you go. Well, if you have a dingle in your dangle, then call up certified luthier Mike Vierock for an estimate. Bordentown Guitar Rescue. Fix it, Vierock. And are we okay to do the first two songs?
No. Do the event.
Okay, cool. It seemed quiet, so I was just asking. Here are your events for the week of August 26th. Oh my God, it's almost September. Monday, August 26th. Happy birthday, Foxanne! Tonight at House of Independence, we have Drake Bell with Painted Young and Candice Lee. That's going on right now. You probably aren't going to get there if you aren't there now. There's a humongous line right outside, and that is why I was almost late today. Tuesday, August 27th. Happy birthday, Christine Mitchell! Every Tuesday, Cafe Artiste hosts its songwriter showcase. This week features Eric Sommer, Pam McCoy, Joe Patillo, Samantha Spano, and the Brian Hansen Band. That's at 7 p.m. at the Jersey Shore Arts Center in Ocean Grove, and there's a $5 suggested donation. Also, I have a gig at the downtown if you want to go see that. Yeah, if you want to. Wednesday, August 28th. Asbury Park Live features Shoobies and Connor Bracken and the Mother Leeds Band. Lake House Bands kick off the final week of AP Live at 5:30 on the Mogo stage. And then we've got Leah Voicey, Space Jam.
Yes, Jamie from Alpharetta.
Oh, cool. Space Jam and Dano at the Asbury Hotel, and that's at 8 p.m. Thursday, August 29th, we have Jams on the Sand hosts Kat Wright, Bella's Bar Talk, and the Artisanals at Anchor's Bend, and that's 6 p.m., and it's free. And then we've got People's Blues of Richmond, a.k.a. PBR, at Wonder Bar, and that's at 10 p.m. Woo. Friday, August 30th, Humphreys McGee and Big Something at the Stone Pony Summer Stage. Fish House Road and Family's Recipe open inside at 4, and Dogs in a Pile follow at 10 p.m. And keeping up with the Jam Bonanza, After Party's Karmic Juggernaut is at the Yacht Club while Waiting on Mongo lights up Langosta. Saturday, August 31st, we have Social Distortion and Flogging Molly at the Summer Stage, the Van Saters with Symbol at the Yacht Club, and then we have Leslie Mendelson. Wow, Chris, I don't know how you do this. Rachel Anna Dobkin Band and Kelly Swindle at the Transparent Gallery at 4 p.m. And then last but not least, Sunday, September 1st, we have Jesse Mallon plays special in-store performance at Jack's Music Shop. That's at 3:30. Remember Jones, Bone and Marrow, The Inflatable Head, Ocean Avenue Stompers, Mr. Tickle Hands, ew, and Taylor Tote at Springwood Park, and that's 4 to 8 p.m. free. I'm sure your band's great. I'm so sorry.
It's no Ranger, no shame. You can make fun of it.
Okay. And then, last but not least, we have the Burns and Waiting on Mongo at the Asbury Rooftop. Save the show in Live Music Loyalty app for a chance to win tickets to the Burns farewell performance. I am so sad about that. What? That's crazy. If y'all don't give Jim one song on the bass, I will never forgive any of you.
Be there. Jim, why can't you be at our show? My wife's birthday? Give it up for Jim!
Woo! Happy birthday, Jim's wife. Yeah, she'll love that. Did you just call it butt rock?
My own band. Oh, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Birthday last year, I went with you to the airport.
I remember that, yeah.
So you can't miss 2 birthdays in a row for the Burns. All right. Download the Live Music Loyalty app to find shows, connect with artists, and support your local music scene. Check out This Week in Asbury Park, a Spotify playlist by LML, which highlights tracks from all of the artists playing in Asbury Park this week. Listen local, and then in little quotes it says an impromptu Dubrow quote. But since I am not a Dubrow, I will not do that. So are we ready to go? All right. Without further ado, I give you the Afraid Brigade.
Woo! Yep.
I should have known. All through and through. I should have known. I should have known. Where did you go? Where did you fly? Where did you go? I should have known. Why I'm very superstitious. You ain't showing up in pictures. Rather checking on the ceiling figures. Grown a little bit suspicious. Oh. I'm feeling pain, sleeping for days. Give me away, give it away. Why I'm very superstitious. You ain't showing up in pictures. While checking on the ceiling figures. Grown a little bit suspicious. I can roll the gallows over. Everybody wants to be undead. I should have known. Just say I'm all you want on a starry night. We go and stroll the park, such a sorry sight. I'm holding in my breath for your kiss, but your lips feel cold. You turn to mist. Just say I'm all you want on a starry night. Then I will cross my heart and I hope I die before the world burns black and the summer ends and the dead walk happy hand in hand. Why I'm very superstitious. You ain't showing up in pictures. Got taking on the ceiling figures. Grown a little bit suspicious. I can run the gallows over. Everybody wants to be undead. I should have known you are a ghost.
Thank you so much. Connor's going to join us on the next one. Connor mixed and mastered the whole, well, not mastered, I'm sorry, tracked and mixed the entire record. Please give a big round of applause to Connor. This is a song we had to record 2 entirely different times, but it got good eventually. We good? Okay. It's called Truth's Always Hard to Say.
I've had bad dreams, so have you. Seems time is a lonely coward too, and hold your breath, go slow. Trapped in an hourglass, dark clouds are coming, but I'm off running. Call them off, call them off, call them off me, oh Savior. I don't want to leave, but I don't want to stay. It's so hard to support my behavior. I don't want to lie. Truth's always hard to say. Something else won't be enough for me. I could use to support my behavior. I don't wanna lie. The truth's always hard to say. Support my behavior. I don't wanna lie. Truth's always hard to say. This next one is also on the new record, which you should please go and listen to. It is on Spotify and iTunes and Bandcamp and SoundCloud. Feel the Sunshine. A little bit of double meaning there. They got the family plan now. I'm not paying for it.
Just hop on someone's family plan.
All right, the song's called Red Sun. I wrote it 10 years ago. There's the salt spray blowing on my face, and the sails spread to catch the breeze, and the waves splash left and right as my raft carries me gently across the sea. But a red sun woke me up in the morning, said you better start rowing or you'll get caught in the storm. And the moon says, do you know where you're going? I could show you the way. I'd hate to see you come to harm. And the wood creeps like it's trying to speak, promise to keep me above the sea. Don't let me sink, fall into the dark, drink. My reflection begs for company. The sun woke me up in the morning, said you better start rowing or you'll get caught in the storm. And the moon says, do you know where you're going? I could show you the way. I'd hate to see you come. that you better start rowing or you'll get caught in the storm. And the moon says, do you know where you're going? I could show you the way, I'd hate to see you come to harm. Come to harm.
Thanks so much, Connor. That was great. Please give it up for Connor, who I asked entirely 5 days ago to do that. But beautiful. Okay, this is one off the last EP, and I know it's Chris's favorite. Should I tune? Are we allowed to tune? So has anybody been watching all the true crime documentaries on HBO? You've got I Love You Now Die, that was still the best. We had the Behind Closed Doors, which I think was an interesting story, but kind of plotting as far as like the actual documentary went. And then there was the I don't remember the kid's name, but somebody got murdered, and it's a documentary about who did it. And it gets to the end, and you don't know. They don't know. What was the point? Kind of disappointing.
Wouldn't they be in jail if they knew?
Like, you want to watch a documentary where they solve it at the end, or at least, like, kind of can hint, like, pretty sure this guy did it, but nothing. You have no idea at the end. Your guess is as good as mine. Anyway, this song's called I'm in Hell.
There were far cries in the darkness of the night, calling out why parades get rained out every time. And God's mysterious ears wind so slowly, but we belong here beneath the cracked and bleeding sky. Farewell, so long, dear. Wipe your tears and dry your eyes. There's a world that's passing by. Please show me love like this. Fate on bliss. I'm in hell. You don't even know me. All for her. Nothing works. Fake that smile, baby. You don't know me. Anything. There are bright lights from the fires and the bombs. There is music going from the choral arms. Thunder's drumming as the curtains rise slow. But I am longer with fair and true. Always shall change, you never get your due. Everybody's starting in there. The
But it looks cool.
It does look cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. Looking cool might be more important than it being on. Thank you so much, Ray. You were great.
It's not on at all. Like,
Well, I don't know. That's usually what happens. I grab the mic. You know, I've never given a good outro before.
nope.
This could be a first. It's too late already.
One more time for the Afraid Brigade, for Rachel Anna Dobkin. Go see her 2 shows this weekend. For Jim Lenskold at the Asbury Park Music Foundation. For Chris Dubrow, Jesse McCormick. I have been, and I remain Brian Erickson. See you next week.